it's not their fault that they don't have the money for their food. So we want to just make sure that they are getting food and that there is no shaming going on.
It's called lunch shaming, an embarrassing practice that's been happening in cafeterias across the country, really. Kids singled out when they can't afford a school lunch. In some cases, children receiving a hand stamp or having food thrown away because of it. School districts had to come up with new lunchroom change and charge policies by July 1st. So here with us today to discuss this problem and the changes hopefully made here in Oklahoma, we have State Superintendent Joy Hoffmeister. As always, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. Great to be with you.
Today.
Important topic.
Absolutely. I think so as well. And lunch shaming, it enrages me, you know, and I'm not even a parent. I don't even have a child that goes to school, but how is this happening? You know, and what's your thought on lunch
this
shaming?
is something absolutely that at the national level, we saw that this was occurring in some states. We want to make sure that every classroom in Oklahoma has kids that are well fed, that they're ready to learn. And of course, when they go to the cafeteria, we want them to not have to deal with anything but dignity as they approach that lunch line, and they're treated in a way that is respectful to every student. At the same time, districts will now have a responsibility that requires a plan for how to assist families in knowing when a charge account is low.
Sure.
And a policy that does that without shaming.
Okay, and just, you know, I was reading part of a PBS article, and I wanted to read this out loud, especially for people who might not be as familiar with this topic, but it said, quote, "The cash register woman says to this 4-year-old girl verbatim, 'You have no money.' A milk carton was taken away and the girl's food was dumped in the trash. She did not protest other than to walk away in tears." How do you deny a 4-year-old child a meal? And are, you know, school cafeteria employees, are they told to do this?
Well, this sounds like very poor training and something that I have not heard of in Oklahoma, so I hope that that would never occur.
This was in Killeen, Texas, to be specific.
So that's poor training. No child, especially a preschooler or a young child, should ever be treated like that. Again, it's about dignity and making certain that our kids are fed, but that we deal with adult issues with the adults.
And speaking of those, you know, trying to be fair here, when you bring up lunch shaming, so many times the school district or the lunch lady serving that hot meal gets all that backlash, but is it the parents' fault?
You know, it is the responsibility of families to ensure that they have either an account that has money to draw down, or that they have gone ahead and completed some paperwork to ensure that their child has access to free and reduced lunch if they qualify. One new thing we are working on in the Department of Education here at the state level is to work with districts that qualify, where they have a high concentration of low-income families, to move to a full program called Community Eligibility Program, which allows everyone in the school to receive a free lunch. And that, of course, only applies to certain districts, but that is something that when districts do this, then there is no child identified, singled out, and there's no household paperwork to complete, and we don't have this issue. That is the trend in Oklahoma. We are moving more toward that program where 100% of the kids are fed and there is no cost. Oklahoma City is a good example.
Yes, exactly. And I think it's 1 in 4 Oklahoma kids struggles with hunger.
Yes.
And Oklahoma City now offering free lunches for the 2017-2018 school year. At what point do you think every school might be at that point?
Well, to qualify, it requires a particular concentration of low-income homes and families in great need. So actually, we would hope that that isn't something that is a growing issue across the state. But for those areas where we have a concentration of food insecurity, low-income family households, we need to look at how do we best serve them? How do we streamline red tape? And this is one way we can do this and make sure that also it helps reduce any possibility of a child feeling that embarrassment or certainly going without a meal.
And in your experience all these years, have you noticed that this has been a big problem in Oklahoma cafeterias?
You know, we would hear if this was a problem. What I see is this is a problem in some of the other states, and this is what led to the policy at the national level with the U.S. Department of Agriculture as they made provisions and worked with school and state agencies. So we're following that. It's certainly important at the state level that we have policies that we ensure our districts are following, and what we require of them is that they each have a policy on how they're going to handle any school lunch charges and make sure that no child goes hungry.
And just to get your personal view, and just to clarify, you know, hypothetically, a child comes through the line,
right,
goes to pay for that meal, that card, you know, buzzes or however it might work, saying that there are no funds, adequate funds aren't there. What should happen from that point on?
Well, that is up to each district in how they do that within the guidelines, that they are certain that no child goes hungry and that we are taking care of children with dignity.
What do you think?
Well, that policy should be that, first of all, we make certain that no child is hungry, and that would mean to go ahead and give them a meal. And then we know that there are Oklahomans who are standing ready to assist school districts that are accruing a debt that they will have to pay back to the U.S. Department of Agriculture through the child nutrition programs, and that is a you know, that mounts into the thousands when families are struggling, and we want to also assist districts to make sure that they talk with families who might qualify but have not applied for a reduced cost or a free lunch, and we need to make sure that they know those programs are available. And then finally, where schools have the option, like Oklahoma City, to move to a 100% free and reduced or free lunch for every child, as is possible for them, that we do those. And this will also help streamline, I think, some of the red tape, and let's keep our focus on what's going on in the classroom and make sure kids are ready to learn.